People with, well, not just Wegener's granulomatosis, but any debilitating disease or vicissitude of age can fall into a habit of feeling sorry for themselves. And to that end, I think one of the best ways a person can get out of that mentality, if they are having problems with attitude, that's basically all it is. They may be predisposed to be bitter and reluctant to be happy. I don't know what you call it. But it isn't necessary. I recommend that people who are in circumstances where they are limited in the amount of energy they have, the ability they have to do things, check into the possibility of joining, in this country, RSVP. It's a voluntary organization, or an organization of volunteers, I should say, who do things in the community. For example, this morning, I took part in, I don't know if you can see that, it's upside down, Great American Cleanup, and I got this, that isn't marijuana down there, even though it kind of reminds me, no, nothing like that. These are people who, in my case, I volunteered, I signed people up to take place in a, I better put this up someplace, to go out and bring in trash that was recyclable. Whether it was paper trash, it was plastic, cigarette butts, which a lot of people don't see as trash. Doesn't bother them to throw it on the ground. Well, if you were in the military, you would never throw anything on the ground because at some time blank and elbows. You'd be duck walking through the parade ground picking up someone else's cigarette butts, and if nothing else, if you're a smoker, you'd probably change to unfiltered and you'd quote-unquote field strip them. The organic part, the leaves, would be dropped on the ground, and then you'd roll up the paper and into a little ball, and it wasn't trash. Or you'd take it in to dispose of it properly someplace. So anyway, these volunteers, and it was a cold and blustery day today, so we only had 32 people show up, ranging in age from 5, there were a couple of 5-year-olds, up to 49. Well, they had a predetermined route. They had bags that had trash bags, they had recycling bags, they even had a bag to put the butts in, cigarette butts. And the person who came in with the most of, the prizes were divided along several lines, based on age, based on how much was brought in by weight, for individual types of trash, how much was, well, you get the idea. But this is something that a person with even limited abilities can do, is volunteer. I sat in a chair. I could have been one of the people who went out and picked up trash and probably fell on my face, get lightheaded, but I could have been one of those people. I'm thinking about it next year, maybe doing that instead of sitting at the desk registering people. A couple things come out of this volunteer work. One, you get back to the community. Why are we here? People, what's the meaning of life? Well, each person determines that. What you put into your life is what life means. Your life means something different than everyone else's. In my family, there's a motto that keeps getting passed down. Both my mother and father were big volunteers through this RSVP, and I'm sure that's why when I volunteered, I decided I would do it through, I better watch my time there, I would do it through RSVP too. They had a motto: service to others is the price we pay for the space we occupy. They even had it engraved on their tombstone. My father died in November of last year, but my mother is still around. And to that end, I also volunteered this morning at the care center where she is. Fortunately, at age 95, she's pretty spunky. Physically, she gets around pretty well. She taught Red Cross swimming in this town for 60 years. And in recognition of that, the city of Alliance named the bathhouse at the swimming pool after her, an honor that is rarely given to people who are alive who don't give $1 million. So to keep that possibility in mind, if you are a white nurse patient or if you have some other disability, see what you can do through your community to volunteer. And there is one thing that everybody can do. It doesn't matter how debilitated they are, and that's join a prayer chain. Most churches have them. You can pray for others. It's a good way to start feeling better about yourself when you serve others. It's the way we are. We're social animals. This is part of our commitment to our species, I suppose. It's inherent. I believe it's inherent. And those who touch that basic root, that basic, I guess you'd call it, sense of duty, are the ones who go through life with a little better attitude, I feel, and I recommend it very highly. So I guess that's enough of my pontificating and promulgating for today. I'll just stop right there.